A simple question I was asked: are public servants held to a higher standard? Yes, public servants are generally held to a higher standard of conduct than those in the private sector. This elevated standard is rooted in the principle that public service is a public trust, and those entrusted with governmental authority must act with integrity and impartiality. Elaboration: public trust. Public servants are expected to prioritize the interest of the public and uphold the integrity of the government, meaning their actions must be above reproach. Ethical conduct. The higher standard translates into a greater emphasis of ethical behavior, including avoiding conflicts of interest, preventing the appearance of impropriety, and demonstrating honesty and fairness. Accountability. Public servants are held accountable to their actions and decisions, and they are expected to be transparent and responsible in their use of public resources. Legal framework. In addition to ethical guidelines, public servants are subject to specific laws and regulations that govern their conduct, often stricter penalties for violations. Example for higher standards: conflicts of interest. Public servants are expected to avoid situations where their personal interests could conflict with their public duties. Use public resources. Public resources should only be used for official purposes and not for personal gain. Transparency and disclosure. Public servants are often required to disclose their financial interests and other potential conflicts of interest. Impartiality. Public servants must treat all citizens fairly and avoid giving preferential treatment to any individual or group. Merit system principle. Merit system principle 4. Higher standards. So, I'm giving you people some things not just to think about, but to look up and start doing things about, okay? In my other videos, I tell you, I've been doing this for a long time, going at it with the system. My first victory was fighting the violations of the Double Jeopardy Clause in 1979. I was in prison, and I also cited a conspiracy to deprive rights under the color of law. They wouldn't hear me about that. Now it's called conspiracy against rights under the color of law. You know, the more I learn and the more I use, they would change laws. You know, they change things or remove things in the rules of professional conduct, even the American Bar Association, since I've been doing this. And so I really need some help. I mean, I'm by myself. And I showed you my other videos where to file for violations, ethic violations, for violating the oath. Violating the oath requires fines, removal from public service, and incarceration. Violating the basic obligation of public service, same fines. I'm just one person. Don't forget basic obligations of public service. You should look that up. It's on the U.S. Department of Interior. You go down a little further, and okay, public servants should be held to a higher standard. Okay, our public service is generally held to higher ethical standards than those employed by the public. Yes, merit systems, ethical service. The importance of ethics in public service. Why is accountability important in federal workplaces? Ethics and public service. This is where you file the OGE.gov for ethics violations. Do you think public sector employees should be held to a higher standard? Yes, you're public servants. You're there to serve the public. Any abuse of that power And it's not power, it's a service. You're not, the only power you have is what the law gives you. And that's utterly ridiculous. And then they claim qualified immunity, and they started throwing that around. What was it, 56 in Pearson versus Ray, where some preachers gathered in a bus station, and they were going down, Pentecostal preachers. They were down south encouraging people to register to vote, and some white preachers were in the colored section, and it said coloreds only sign, so the cops came and told them they had to get out of there, and the preacher said, well, we're preachers, we're preaching, we're having, so cops arrested them, basically because they were sitting in a colored section, and they arrested the other preachers that weren't white, and the judge said they didn't do anything wrong because they thought that was the law. The sign there said coloreds only, and so they thought the preachers were breaking the law, so they arrested them. But there was no law against that. So the judges said they were acting in good faith. And to this day now, cops don't have to know the law. They can arrest you for anything, and the judge will use that standard because they were acting in good faith. It's ridiculous. And then they've been throwing qualified immunity from the cops to lawyers, judges. Well, lawyers and judges don't actually have qualified immunity because Clarence Thomas just ruled lately that nobody can claim qualified immunity if you can prove conspiracy against rights under the color of law. And I've been doing that since 1979, putting the last time I threw it at him was in the 90s, mid-90s, and I was approached and told to let it go. My life was threatened, not just me, but my entire family. Everybody related to me. But my time is coming to an end. I'm old. And I need somebody to pick up where here now. Don't wait till I pass. Start doing for yourself. Everything I've ever done was not in my name or my name only. It was in the name of we the people. Constitution means a whole lot to me. Remember, Code of Ethics, you can file for ethics violations. I told you where you could file, the OGE. Okay, but, we got to work on this, people. Don't let me be the only one raising my voice. Thus far, I've been ignored. I'm the church mouse during choir practice. But with your help, as the lions roar, my voice will be heard. And I always speak for we the people. It's about time. About time our public servants start living up to the oath and being true to what they put on paper. Let's use the law, people. This is one hell of a protest. It beats being out there on the streets, and when you're out there on the streets yelling no justice, no peace, go to its origins, the OG of sayings when it comes to no justice, no peace, the Magna Carta. That was the original no justice, no peace movement. It's what gave you the rule of law. That's not just American history, that's world history. Okay, it didn't start here, it started elsewhere. Okay. Okay, so yes, public servants are generally held to a higher standard of conduct than those in the private sector. Okay, people, I've done a lot of videos about a lot of things that aren't being done that need to be done. It's just that when it comes to public service, there's a whole lot of people that don't want to do their job. They don't want to work. So it's up to you to see to it that they do. It's up to you. What you do for yourself, you will do for the many. Once one person gets through, it'll take the domino effect. Before you can get your country back, you got to know what your rights are and demand those. They are not a given, they are earned. In a nation of laws, when will we live up to what the forefathers put down on paper? No more shattered dreams because of those broken promises, my friends. This isn't about me. This is about we. This isn't just about you, but what you do will take a domino effect. Remember, with all these places that you can file all these complaints, you can do it electronically. And don't just do it yourself. Get your friends, your families. Make it a high school course. Teachers. Give the kids something to do over the summer. Let's bring back civics class. And we don't even need the books because all their job requirements are on the internet. All their job requirements are on the internet. Things I had to dig up years ago before the internet. Okay, so I'm just giving you a clue, okay? And not just a clue, resolution. You want to resolve your legal problems? I'm giving you a lot of answers. No question is a stupid question. The only questions unasked are the ones that I find ridiculous. Any question is a good question, is a proper question. And I'll do my best to give you every answer. All right, you have a good day. Thank you for listening. May your Creator always bring many blessings. Here's to your long life and your good health. May peace always be with you.